Hello, in this video I am going to show you how to set up Vulkan on your Mac machine so you can, create applications in Vulkan using Xcode. So Vulkan isn't directly supported on Mac, and it uses something called MoltenVK, and that's basically a layer that connects Vulkan to Metal, which is Apple's own graphics API, and you need to make sure your computer supports Metal. To do that, just go over to the top right here so that I can zoom in so you can see where I'm going. Go to the Apple logo and go to About This Mac. Then over here you just want to go to System Report, and then in Hardware you want to go to Graphics Displays, and in Metal family, if it says supported and has something there, then you're all good to go. I mean, there's probably a good chance if you're watching this and you have obviously a Mac machine, you're probably going to support it, but it's always good to check before you watch this entire video. I have not recorded it yet because I'm in the process of doing it, but I know these type of videos are pretty lengthy, and as a result I'd rather you not waste your time. Okay, so once you've done that and you've confirmed that Vulkan is supported, oh sorry, I just changed the desktops, and Vulkan is MoltenVK supported, then Vulkan is supported as well. We'll do one extra check later on as well. Okay, so first of all, you need to download Xcode. I've already got it downloaded because it's, I think it was 11.65 gig, the latest version was, so it's going to take a bit of time. So you want to go over to your App Store, and then you just want to search for Xcode, and for you there'll be a get button or this sort of cloud button. If you haven't got it downloaded, this will be there if you've already downloaded it previously, so you can click that, or you can go here and click install as well. Either one fine. Once this has completed, what I recommend that you do is give Xcode a launch, because you'll install some components that can take some extra time as well, so always bear that in mind. Now let's download some other stuff. We're going to need to install something called Homebrew, which is a package manager, and that allows us to easily manage and install packages. The ones we'll be using are Glfw and Glm. So Glfw allows us to create a window and then we'll draw Vulkan to it, and Glm allows us to use mathematical calculations later on in this series, because by default you won't have any sort of concept of linear algebra or any other mathematical concepts that we need to implement. Okay, so for Homebrew you go to brew.sh, and literally all you do is copy and paste this command. Probably best if you just click this copy button, click that and search for terminal, open that up, and now in here right click, paste, click enter. It'll ask you for your password, so this is the password that you use to log in on your on your Mac, and it won't actually show you typing anything in. That's fine, that's just a security feature. And then when you get to this, click enter. And yeah, this is a waiting game. You just got to wait for this to install now. For me, it was very quick because I've already got it installed, but for you it might take a little longer. Okay, so once you've got that, you need to actually download, and I'll clear this screen and I'll minimize this. We're going to need this momentarily. Next step, what we need to do is download Vulkan Sdk. So to get that, you would just Google Vulkan and Luna, because it's from the Luna G website, and go to here, the Luna Exchange, go to where's the downloads button down here, go to Mac, go over to the Mac OS version, just download the latest SDK. You'll download a DMG. I've already got it downloaded, so I'm just going to cancel this, and I'm going to install the version that I've already got. So if I click that, it'll launch it up. Double click the install Vulkan, click next, and now you can choose wherever you want to install it. Bear in mind, make sure you have a note of this mentally or even on paper if you want to, because we'll need to reference this later on in our project. So I prefer to put it in applications and in a folder called development. I've already created it, but you can create it yourself, and in there create a folder called Vulkan Sdk, like so. Click open, and there we go, and click next. I accept the license, click next again, click install. It'll ask you for your user password. Here it will actually show you some password, characters, but it's just secured. Click OK, and just gotta wait for this to install. And once this has installed, the next step will be to check if something called VK opens. This is the recommended thing to do, and this allows us to see if Vulkan is supported and has been correctly installed. Once we've done that, we'll install Glfw and Glm using that Homebrew that we installed. So yeah, it's just installing this, and it's just a matter of waiting now. So let's check something on OBS. Yeah, everything's all good. There we go. It's finished installation. Click next, click finish, and now if we go over to our Finder window, go to applications or wherever you've installed it. Again, remember I said keep that in mind. Go to development, Vulkan SDK, and you want to go to Mac OS, bin, actually no, sorry, applications. Don't know where I was going. Go to applications, open up VK Cube. If you get this and you get some sort of spinning cube like this, it means Vulkan has been correctly set up, Metal is supported, and it's correctly working. All good to go. If you get any errors, anything like that, feel free to let us know. There's a link in the description to our Discord group that has over 4,400 members now, and there's a Vulkan channel on there, so feel free to post in there and we will, lend a hand. Okay, so now that we've done this, we'll minimize this because we'll need it later on. We need to install Glfw and Glm. So open up your terminal again. You can open it up again if you've closed it, or just open it up if you minimized it. You want to install, and let me zoom in a bit so you can see what I'm actually doing. Okay, you want to install Glfw. So to do that, you type in brew install Glfw and click enter. Again, it might take a bit of time for you. For me, because it was already installed, it was super quick. If he asks you to accept anything, you're all good to go, just do it. Brew install Glm now, which is the maths library. Click enter. Again, it's going to be very quick because I've already got the latest version downloaded. Okay, so now that we've installed them, what we need to do is open up, we can close this as well. We need to open up Xcode, so let's launch it up. Xcode, like so. And we're going to actually create a project. So go to create a new Xcode project. And once it actually loads up, you want to go to Mac OS. So let me zoom in a bit. So go to Mac OS. Command line tool, next, and for the product name you can select whatever you want. I'm going to put Vulcan test. For the organization identifier, you'll probably just be empty like that for you. Put whatever you want. I'm going to put sonar.systems, and for language make sure you select C++. By default probably Swift is selected, but select C++. Now click next. This little window will pop up asking you where you want to save this, and I'm going to put it on the desktop. Again, you can put it wherever you want. Deselect create git repository on my Mac unless you specifically know that you want to do this. If you don't, then just deselect it, click create, and I'm going to zoom back out, and here we go, it's created it. Go to main.cpp. We're going to get rid of all this code, and I've got some code right here. I'll provide a link in the description to the GitHub page, and on the GitHub page you'll be able to get all of this code, so feel free to grab it from there. There'll be a Mac template as well, so you can either download that or follow along. Following along is always best, and you can just copy this code. I'm not really explaining what we're doing with this code at the moment. I'm going to cover that in a separate video. So I want to get all the setup videos done for Windows, which I've done, Mac, which obviously we're currently in the middle of, and Linux, which will be next. Okay, so as you can see, we've got a whole heap of errors. We ain't even going to dream of trying to run this. It's basically saying it can't find any of this Glfw or Vulkan stuff. Not a problem. We're going to link all of that stuff now. Okay, so to do that, you want to go over to your project here. Select the Vulkan test project, go to targets, select the target, and you want to go to the build settings tab and make sure you click all, because if you don't click all you won't be able to find what we need. So click all, and you want to search for header search paths like so, and go to header search paths, double click it and click plus, and in here we need to add a couple of search paths. But first one is /, let me zoom in a bit, /usr /local /include. So this is where all the code files, the header files for GLM and Glfw via Homebrew get installed. So this is how we'll link those files. For Vulkan, it's slightly different because we specified where we installed it and we didn't use Homebrew for it. We need to specifically link it. You could manually type out the path, honestly, because this is always the same. That one isn't for Vulkan. I'd recommend that you do this. You find where, you know, the folder is, and the path that you actually need to link, so is the Vulkan SDK, Mac OS, and include. And so if you right click that, go to get info, and where it says where, you want to double click so it selects all of the where part, right click, copy. That actually copies the path, not that actual text, as you can see. So if I was to double click here or click plus, either one's fine, and I'll paste, there you go, the path's there. You'll notice the path does not include the folder or the file that we selected on. It's you know, where it's located, so we need to put / include, and that's it. There we go. Click enter. Okay, so we've done the header search paths. We now need to link the library search paths. So search for library search path. Ooh, there we go. Double click it and click plus. And for the first one is /usr /local /lib. So this is where the Glfw library will be. GLM doesn't have any libraries, it's just all code files. And again, for the Vulkan library, I recommend that you go over to the Finder window, go to this lib folder. This is what we need. So again, it is in Vulkan SDK, Mac OS, lib, and you right click that, get info, right, I mean, nah, you would need to, you need to double click that, copy. You know what, I want to test that. If I was to just like, I could just right click and copy as well, both work. But double clicking is the one that I've usually used. Click plus, paste it, and again we need to put /lib and click enter. Okay, so now that we've done that, we need to actually link the library files, because this has just been linking the paths. We haven't done any linking of the library files yet. So what we next want to do is make sure we've gone to our project, we've gone to the target, and we want to go to the build phases tab, and we want to go to link binary with libraries. And here you can click plus. Unfortunately, it doesn't detect them here, and you need to manually add them. You can either do add files and manually locate it. I prefer doing this method instead. Get in a finder window. So for for Vulkan, while we're in lib, scroll down, and this is what you want. This libvulkan.1 and libvulkan.1. And that's the actual version number. So you select both of them and literally drag that on. That's the Vulkan linked. And actually I'll do this little step after. I'm going to minimize this because I'm going to need access to that again. I'm going to open up a new finder window. I'm going to go to Go and go to folder, and in here you want to type in this /usr/local//lib, and this will open this up. Let me change the view slightly. Yeah, this is the view I like. And in lib, just scroll down. You just want to find libglfw and glfw. This is the one. You want the one that says 3 point something something something, and grab that and drag it on. Boom, there we go. We're almost done. Next step is to go to copy files, go to destination, change that to frameworks. For the subpath, delete it. For the copy only when installing, deselect it, and you need to do the same. So you need to drag this on here, and for the options, for the destination, keep that deselected. For the added folders, click create folder references, click finish, and we want to deselect code sign on copy. And again, you need to do the same for the Vulkan libraries as well. So you deselect copy items if needed. For added folders, select create folder references, click finish, deselect code sign on copy. We are almost done. There is one little thing left, and that is to add the environment variables. You probably heard a page turn there. That's because I've noted all this down because it's quite a bit to remember. So to add the environment variables, you go up here whilst Xcode is selected. Go to product. You go to scheme, edit scheme, and this window will pop up. And obviously you want to go to run, and in info, either select debug or release. You can set it up for both. Feel free to do that. Do debug, make sure you've got your executable selected. Go to arguments. In environment variable, we need to add 2. Click plus. First one is going to be all uppercase, vk_icd_file names, and for the value, let me show you again. You want to go over, we can get rid of this folder, the Glfw stuff, close that. You want to go over to your Vulkan Sdk folder. You want to go over to Mac OS, share, Vulkan, and then icd.d. Right click this MoltenVK, and let me try something. Could I actually? I don't know if I could. Nah, I can't do that. So I'm gonna have to right click, get info, copy that. This just puts the path. We also need the file as well. So what I recommend is that you go here, just like right click, rename, select all of the file name, copy that. I'm just doing Command Z to copy. You can do, right click, whatever you want. Go here, / paste. There we go. Okay, so now we need to do one more environment variable, and then we're ready to run. Click plus, vk_layer_path, again all uppercase, click enter. For the value, it's pretty similar, and what you want to do is go to, again, I'll show you exactly where it is, the Vulkan SDK, wherever you installed that. You want to go to Mac OS, share, Vulkan, explicit layer.d, and for this you don't need any of the files inside. So if you select one of the files, click get info, and remember, if we copy the where, it copies the folder that these files are in, which is what we need. We just need the path, not the file names. So paste that there, and we're good to go. We're good to try and give it a run. So this is the part where you're just like, hopefully it works, hopefully it works. Let's click this. Build succeeded. That's great. The window will pop up, you know, in a few seconds, and as long as we get no errors, we're good to go. Done. There we go. This is what you expect: is 0 metal services found. That is what you expect. And 12 extensions supported. The number of extensions supported may vary depending on your computer, but you want to see 0 metal services found, and that's it. There you go. Vulkan is now set up on your Mac, so you can, well, program in the Vulkan graphics API, a nice alternative, or a newer version, you can think of it as OpenGL, and an alternative to DirectX. Which obviously isn't supported on Mac anyway. And we can close this down. So what I just want to show you one last thing is this Vulkan test folder here. To save you going through all those steps again, I recommend that you have one of these, because these are linked to libraries and paths on your computer configured in a certain way. I recommend you have one of these folders, like this one that you create, that you never touch, and every time you want to code in Vulkan, just duplicate this. So Command C, Command V, and there you go. You just you rename this to, let's say, Epic Game, and in here, this is where you code your new game. And if you do want to do another Vulkan project, just duplicate this and then rename it and then code in there. It just makes things, trust me, a lot easier. But that's it. That's how you set up Vulkan on your Mac. It's not too bad. It's pretty decent in terms of difficulty, but it's not super difficult. Just a few steps that you got to be strict with following. Like I said, we got over 4,400 members in the Discord group. There is a link in the description. In the description, there's also a link to every resource that I covered here. Also on the Discord page in the Vulkan channel, where you can ask for help. If you check the pinned messages, the pinned posts, you can see all the resources there as well. I also put them there because whenever they get updated, I can just update them there. If you go to the one location for any of like the Vulkan video, for example, they'll just be there. They'll be updated. Plus I'll add other resources there as well that might not be relevant to this exact video, but they'll be relevant to other Vulkan stuff as well. So that's it. And any questions, feel free to post there. Look forward to seeing you in the next video, and bye bye.